Welcome back to Sex and the Apocalypse, a place where we discuss politics and how the hell anyone is still falling in love or getting it on while the world is quite literally on fire. Today, I want to talk about Charlie Kirk. Now, I've been hearing through the grapevine that the only way we're allowed to talk about Charlie Kirk is through a tearful emotional tribute. So here's mine. Charlie Kirk did not believe in hate speech or shutting down someone just because their words might be offensive. He went to what he saw as the lion's den of college campuses. Impressionable 18 and 19-year-olds.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself? Hold on. You're 30 years old. We can agree you're 30 years old, right? Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Now, if you've ever been on a date with Debate Guy, you know how delightful this is. You know that the debate is definitely not designed to be one-sided and definitely not designed to make him seem more superior to you. So now imagine that debate guy took your conversation and edited it into YouTube clips and rage bait style thumbnails and amassed a following of 5 million subscribers, but never got you back. Charlie Kirk did not censor himself, and he did not believe in censorship. He believed in melting snowflakes, all in the name of freedom of speech. Since his death, his fans and admirers have carried on his legacy by launching a full-on witch hunt against anyone who dared to question his legacy or criticize his words.
We have a First Amendment in this country. The First Amendment protects a lot of very ugly speech, but if you celebrate Charlie Kirk's death, you should not be protected from being fired for being a disgusting person.
Within 24 hours of his assassination, there was a website with the names and photographs of people who pointed out that he had once said that black women don't have brain cells and said that transgender people don't exist. He could say this, of course, because freedom of speech. But questioning the legacy of a man who was funded by the most powerful forces of the American far right to go to college campuses and debate with people who were practically half his age, that's insensitive. That's fanning the flames of hatred at a politically sensitive time in America. Within just a few days, more than 60 people were dismissed from their jobs. That includes acclaimed college professors, newspaper columnists. Jimmy Kimmel Live was even taken off the air for a week. And while he's back now because his network spent the past days having thoughtful conversations with him, the largest owner of the ABC stations still said that they wouldn't air Kimmel's show unless he apologized to Kirk's family, gave them a sizable donation to both the family and Turning Point USA. This is not freedom of speech. This is blackmail. For those of us who understand how dictatorships work, it's a movie that we've seen many times before. Mobilize a mob. Turn in colleagues and neighbors. Turn a petty argument into a political dispute. Purge the media. Question anyone who questions the narrative. The playbook for authoritarian regimes and abusive boyfriends alike. It's literally chilling. Over the past 2 weeks, I've questioned what I say more times than I ever have in my life. If I want to post something, I wonder if it'll be taken out of context and cost me future jobs and opportunities. I craft a message, and then I edit it again and again and again until it loses any power that it ever had. And then I decide maybe it's better off if I don't post it at all. And then I wonder what happens if I do this again and again and again. Frankly, it reminds me of the stories that my partner tells me about living under the Syrian regime, where anyone who is loyal to Bashar al-Assad would turn in their friends, neighbors, colleagues, and even family members who were not. And while we can name plenty of authoritarian regimes around the world where this happens, it's also important to remember that this double standard is as American as apple pie. The FBI infiltrated the Black Panther Party to turn people against each other. There's McCarthyism, and don't forget the Vietnam War, where anyone who was against the war was seen as a traitor. But we don't even have to go that far back in history. We can go to just last year. In my lifetime, powerful groups aligned with AIPAC and the Israel lobby have relentlessly doxxed college students for showing support and solidarity with Palestine, threatening their job prospects and publicly labeling them as anti-American and anti-Semitic. Just last year, students across the country were expelled, suspended, and even denied their diplomas for standing in solidarity with Palestine against Israel's genocide in Gaza. Back in the good old days, the only thing they risked was their reputation. But since Trump has been in office, he has sent ICE and the Department of Homeland Security after the movement's most prominent leaders and even people that just went to a protest once or twice. This year, across the United States of America, college students have been in hiding just because they fear repercussions for exercising their right to freedom of speech and assembly. I'm told that I'm supposed to be sad that Charlie Kirk was a husband and a father, and on that base level where we're all humans just trying to protect the people that we love, I truly am. But over the past year, I've also been told that I'm not supposed to feel heartbroken that a Palestinian activist like Mahmoud Khalil wasn't there to witness the birth of his son because he was in ICE detention. People have looked at me like I'm speaking another language when I try to express how upset I am that ICE is ripping away husbands and fathers from their wives and children. I'm not supposed to talk about the fact that the Palestinian men that Israel is killing with my US tax dollars are husbands and fathers too. If you actually want to honor the legacy of Charlie Kirk as an avid debater who believed in the power of conversation to move the country forward, you will welcome this conversation as part of his legacy, even if it makes you uncomfortable.